Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again with another podcast. Listen, this one ain't gonna happen because mine broke up at some random ass time, but nevertheless, the boys have got me on, so you love to see it. Make sure, as always, get your comments in, drop a like if you are watching this, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Without further ado, we got the homies back in the building, aka Iniesta times 2, 3 in midfield. Kojo and Gail, boys, what we saying? Yes.
Exactly. Just
Love
freeze,
that.
man. Just freeze.
Just 3 in midfield, just 3.
You know why this is the league? Because John Cena does this and Team 3D. Team 3D do this. Listen,
yes.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah. Yes, you love to see it. Make sure you do obviously check out their channel as well, 3 in midfield. The link
Hold on a second. Usman.
What?
Bring the table. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, you love to see it. But make sure you show love to them. Their commentary videos are absolutely elite, and I'm pretty sure they'll be doing one on Wednesday as well for England.
We're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe.
Okay. Right. Either way, subscribe and you'll know when they're uploaded. Anyways, let's get into it. So the United way, yes, boys, you love to see it. As you can see from the title of the video, semi-finals preview. Is football coming home? We are going to find out from the boys. We might just get a cheeky final preview, but to be fair, I mean, myself, Kojo, and Lawless had predicted Wales to win the whole thing. So, I mean, well, to be fair, they kind of said Italy. To be fair, Kojo said Italy, so I'll give him his dues. I said France. Obviously, that's gone down like a lead balloon. It is what it is. Not mad about it. Not mad about it.
I said North Macedonia. To be fair.
You did, to be fair. The Macedonian flag is right next to your head as well. I might have put that there deliberately, but it is what it is.
Ooh, there you go. See? Yeah, there you go.
Pandev, the goal. Anyways, let's get into it. Daniel will be joining us as well very shortly. So that should be obviously a nice, pleasant surprise. But first games first, Italy v Spain. For all you fancy football lovers as well. I'm not giving you any tips because I'm doing shocking, so don't ask me. Italy v Spain. This is a big game, this one. Not just because it's two very good teams, but I think this could pretty much determine, in my personal opinion, if England are bringing it home or not. Because there's one team that I would definitely prefer to play. I'm sure everyone could probably, figure out which one it is. Italy, definitely. But, it is what it is. We'll get into that. Claude, we'll start with you first and foremost. Should we do a quick little analysis on the teams, your thoughts on the team so far? I'll let you choose whichever team you want to talk about, actually. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Okay, that's fine. I'll go with the Italians first then, actually. Yeah, why not? Because, they're my boys in this right now. Firstly, they were, I think I'll say they were impressive against Belgium. That's not an easy tie to come through and win. We all know Belgium's quality, but I have called Belgium perennial bottlers for a reason. And I think
there were like 3 Tottenham players in that team. That's why.
And there's a certain legend that told you. A certain legend that told you about that. Yeah, well, that whole defense was North London, fam. So
hey, he's that the other guy was long gone.
Yeah,
don't put him on us.
I was thinking what you're talking about. I just remembered Vermaelen as well.
Thomas.
Oh my god.
Thomas won appearance of the Champions League, win a final.
I mean, he's played for Champions League since he left. Then.
But no, I think the best thing about
we were in the Champions League back then. So keep quiet there, my friend. Keep quiet.
Oh, he's something.
The best thing about Italy is that they found their balance early. They got their front three sorted, they got their midfield three sorted, and whether they put Verratti there, who started there running the games, or whether it was Locatelli, Jorginho, and Barella, the certified 2, and obviously Verratti's now joined that. He's found his match fitness, he's found his shape, found his form. They got their first 2 games out of the way, and then the third game, even though they still won it, was more of like a get Pessina in. Belotti started, so they have used the squad well. They've rotated perfectly. They've made subs at the right times, and what they actually do as well, which is really good, is in a lot of the games, it actually might be all the games. The front 3 always go through substitution. So one way or another, you always have someone fresh. Someone's ready to come on. You get a bit of respite, no matter who you are. Immobile, Chiesa will come on and start another games. So it's very important
as well. Comes on quite a lot.
Precisely. So they've got a real good mix of players being used at the right moments and at the right times, and that's why everyone's able to stay fit. And what I will say about them is now that they've got, because Immobile started the tournament like a house on fire, got his goals in, but now Insigne has contributed. Chiesa comes off the bench, he contributes. Pessina is even contributing, you know. So they've got a very good. They've used the squad perfectly right now. It wouldn't surprise me if they had the most available, fittest players shown at the end of the tournament to have had a squad that had no issues whatsoever. Apart from
Well,
now,
yeah. Well, I suppose they've had a few injuries, to be fair, actually, especially in fullback
Spinazzola.
position.
Yeah, I was
Fullback
gonna say
position in particular.
Yeah.
For Florenzi, sorry, I almost forgot his name. Right at the start, he got injured as well. He's a top left back. Then obviously they brought in Spinazzola, who's just got injured as well. You know, hopefully speedy recovery to him. I'm not going to lie, me and Jerry were taking piss at him on the watch along. But you know, Jerry knows why we were taking piss at him, so we'll just leave it there. But yeah, so to be fair, in terms of the utilization of the squad, I think he's done a fantastic job. I think a lot of us would probably rate Mancini as a top quality manager. You know, he didn't get the flowers personally. I mean, I wouldn't give it him because he's a Man City manager, but he didn't get the respect that he deserved in the Premier League. I don't really know why he won the league on that. Must have been like 2 times, I think. I think he won it a couple of times.
Just the once. It was him, Pellegrini won it.
Pellegrini, yeah. But he did really well. He did really well at Man City, so he deserves a lot more respect. And that was one of the reasons why we said at the start that Italy, well, I did. I know Cole just backed him from day, so Cole just fully backed him. So if they do win it, Cole just predicted that one right. But my only thing was I wasn't sure about Italy because although they're fantastically well organized, I wasn't sure unless I saw them against a good team. And then the Belgium game came, and I thought they were absolutely brilliant. I know Belgium scored via penalty, which I didn't think it was a penalty. Shout out Doku, unreal performance. But yeah, I just think that Belgium game for me was a coming of age game. That one for the team, like that was top quality. They made that look easy. That for the penalty, I don't think Belgium laid a glove on him to an extent. I thought they were very good against Belgium. And you got to respect it. Although people will say, oh, you know, there wasn't much expectation on Belgium this tournament. Nevertheless, you've got top quality players up front.
You
said the Belgium.
Yes, I can't lie. But if anyone said that, they're liars. Because
it's because of the North London contingent at the back. That's what it is. I mean, it's understandable. Yes, Joe in the building.
Man, like Joe, hey, I miss you, man. I'm so happy that you're enjoying Stockholm.
Yeah, Joe. Listen, shout out to you, bro, man. You know, good to hear that you're living your best life, man. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. But yeah, that's my personal thoughts on it, Kiel. I've been impressed off late with them. I love it. I know what I will say is I love Italy's passion, man. I love it. That's what me and Jerry were laughing at. The whole watching we were laughing at because every ball means everything to these guys, and you gotta respect that, man. That's what Italians are like, and that's why I love them. So fair play to Kale. What are your thoughts on Italy? Obviously, Kojo made a lot of very good points as always.
I mean, it's kind of a similar point to what I would say about Spain. It's like the teams with the top quality managers, they're the ones that are shining.
Look at this comment from Joe. Denmark going to give Italy a tough game in the final.
Typical. But yeah, it's just Luis Enrique and Roberto Mancini. Enrique, if you want to say underrated manager, Luis Enrique is definitely one. He won the treble, and everybody seems to forget that about him. He was fantastic at Barcelona.
He was my number one selection from day, like for my United. But you know, remember I put in the chat, Kojo. You remember? Luis Enrique, he's my guy. So if he goes all the way, then in the gas.
It's just those things. Is that their managers know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they're doing. Their game plan is being followed to a T. And it was a surprise that Italy somehow managed to beat Belgium. But I mean, they've obviously been one of the dark horses of the tournament because of course they missed the World Cup last season. But they've got a whole bunch of technical players that
absolutely
just similar to Spain. On a technical level, they are second to none. I personally believe. But man, England. They just got to do it. They just got to do it. Man.
England have to definitely do it. We're going to come on to England very shortly. Obviously, let's just quickly stick to the Italy-Spain game. But I hear what you're saying, and you've made a point there in terms of the technicians, and you mentioned similar to Spain as well. I think sort of pick up on that because, as we know, the midfield battle is always the key area in each game. It'll be interesting to see how the midfield battle pans out because, as you said, Spain, to be fair to him, from the games that I watched, a few of the games, and obviously the highlights for the Croatia game, sorry. one thing I've noticed with Spain, and I don't know what you guys think is, from back to final third, they're absolutely fantastic. They're top. They're actually very good. I mean, the defense is a bit suspect here and there, I'm not going to lie. But in terms of the way they move the ball, what I'm talking about, the way they move the ball, as you would, assume with Spain, is in their DNA to pass. They kind of invented that to an extent. But, they move the ball very swiftly. The midfield's top draw, man, Pedri, Koke, and Busquets, man, that is elite. That really is elite. Pedri's a real talent as well, man. So a fair play, Barella, equivalent there to an extent. Some would say. Obviously, they got like for likes to an extent with Italy, but the front three for Spain is shit. Like straight up, like in terms of execution, it's been shocking. Like Morata gets subbed off, right, and you're thinking, I don't know why he's done that because. It's a bit early in the game. But Gerard Moreno goes, hold your beer, Morata. Let me outdo you. Man missed 3 absolute sitters in the last game. I can't even remember what they beat, but the man was trying his best to lose that game. Like, he was fully trying his best. Who did they beat? Was it
Switzerland?
Yeah, I thought it was Switzerland. Yeah. He couldn't have missed any. Like, oh my God, I couldn't believe Moreno as well. He scores against Man United, and since then he's been shit. Like, it's just so typical, isn't it? But look, what are your thoughts? Okay, we'll come to you first before we go to Kojo. Does that, I mean, we're kind of neutral in this game, but as a Spanish fan, if you were to be one, would that concern you massively? Because against Italy in particular, alongside maybe England to an extent, they're very, very good at the park. Italy, very well organized. They got experience, their whole careers, Chiellini, Bonucci. These guys don't give you an inch. Mm-hmm. And you got 2 strikers there that have had clear-cut chances in every game practically, and they've just missed them. So, for me personally, if I was a Spanish fan going to this, that's going to be a cause for concern because they're only going to get maybe 1, 2 realistically big chances. So, Kale, where do you sit on the front three, so to speak, of Spain?
Yeah, I agree. They've not exactly lit the tournament on fire. But then again, Italy, I'd say Immobile hasn't exactly, like Coach just said, you're talking about international football now. Let's just leave. Let's get rid of that, please. Get rid of that.
Yeah, what he said.
No, bring it back.
Oh, for goodness.
I didn't even know about this. Honestly, I would have.
I hope it's not true. I
like him, man. Is it Gerard Moreno, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, he's a good striker, kid. Honestly, he's just having a shocking Euros. Trust me. Kale, call it. Tell him.
No, he's good. 30 goals this season. Obviously, you're not seeing the Euros. But 30 goals this season.
No, he's done poor in the Euros compared to what I was expecting, I must say. But he's top quality, trust.
All right then. I'll take your word for it. But yeah, what was I saying? So going forward, Spain have been just absolutely horrible. But the thing about Spain is that they have in them the guy called Morata, and obviously he's not had a great tournament, or he's not had a great season for the past few seasons. But
had a great life.
Well, he's a football player. He's a football player. He's had a great life. Let's put it to you. But anyway, Morata knows them, so he sees them every day in training. So he knows. I'd say he knows how to get past them to move them. Right, yeah. So they might be in for a surprise. But I think that game on Tuesday will come down to their defense, and I think obviously, like you said earlier, that Bonucci and Chiellini, obviously two of the 2 Italian greats, especially of the 21st century defenders.
Absolutely.
And Spain, on the other hand, Pau Torres, poor.
He's been shocking, man, I think.
Poor. Alba, poor. I think it's going to come down to which defense is sturdy enough, and I think Italy will take the day.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of truth behind what you said, but. If this competition has said anything, there's always a twist in the tail, which is what I've absolutely loved. Cody, what are your thoughts on obviously the points that we made regarding Spain's fragility, so to speak? Where do you sit on the whole situation and going into the game?
Yeah, that's a big issue for them. The fact that they've got an inconsistent defense and they've got strikers that you don't know is going to finish or not. Because I said that the Moreno that we've been seeing is not the Moreno that we've been seeing for Villarreal this year and then that we saw in the cup final against Man United. That needs to be addressed. The thing about Morata is when Morata, and I don't like this phrase because it can be used for anybody, but it's facts. When Morata on his day wants to bang one, he will slap plenty in. But he's just not having it. And I think against a defense like that with all that experience, he's going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
So I think if Spain are going to get through this game, it's going to be a case of they're going to have very few chances, and then when they find that chance, they need to take it and take it quickly, because otherwise they're going to be in big trouble.
100, man.
Oh, and sorry, as for Pau Torres, I told you guys about him. See,
No,
I don't want him.
I'm
I don't
not
want
having
him.
this
I don't want him.
because I was one of the few, maybe alongside yourself, that haven't been gassing him. I told the Man United fans that watched 2 games and then just like, oh yeah, we should sign Pau Torres, mate. And again, on the flip side, you could say the other way around as well. Like, don't discredit the guy on the back of a couple of games. But I think he's massively overrated, as a lot of footballers are in this generation. I think he's still a good player, don't get me wrong. But based off this tournament, I would assume Lindelof's top draw as well, because he's had a good tournament as well. You know what I mean? So you can never really assess him on international level. You've got to take it with a pinch of salt. But I'm just not a massive fan of his. But anyways, Daniel, we're just talking Italy, Spain. As I said to Coach Balmi's, discuss any team you wish from the two. The kind of premise that we've got at the moment is our worries with Spain is the lack of quality up front, basically. They're not clinical, and obviously, bloody Italy don't give many chances away. But Daniel, what are your thoughts going into this one? Where do you sit on the whole situation?
Yo, hope everyone's good, man. I feel like it's been a while. It's been a
minute.
You've been enjoying celebrations. I know.
Copenhagen, Daniel, is that you? Yeah, is that you?
Celebrations upon celebrations. We love it.
You love to see it, man. It makes me happy, man. It's good to see you shining, bro.
Nah, 100%, man. Appreciate you guys, but fam, always wanted to just come back, man, and just have fun, man. Sometimes doing all that professional stuff, it's boring, man. It's boring. But nah, I think Italy. Obviously, I didn't get to jump on the predictions podcast that you guys did. I watched it back, but like after France, Italy were my team. Like I said it from the get-go, said it from the jump. I told everyone about Italy. Italy have that, and the difference about Italy and the reason why I was so big on them is of course they have the great players, but one key thing is Roberto Mancini. I've been screaming, this guy is one of the best managers in the world. He is he never gets mentioned in the world-class crew, and it's just because he's been in the international game for a minute now. It's the same thing with Luis Enrique, to be honest. And when I speak about Spain,
he said the exact same thing as Coach.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing about Luis Enrique. When I get to speak about Spain, I think he's their biggest weapon. Like out of all the things to do with Spain, Luis Enrique is the biggest thing. But yeah, no, Roberto Mancini. Like I don't know if you men have clocked, but Italy play like a Premier League team. Like he plays them in such a way where they have to be defensively sound. They have to be prepared
for Chelsea, They like Chelsea.
Yeah, a bit Chelsea, but I think Chelsea, but I think they play better football than Chelsea. Like I like the way they're more controlling of games. Yeah. Like, with Chelsea, you can concede the odd chance, and then you know that there's a chance in there for the team and whatnot. Maybe less so because Tuchel's coming, but you're gonna see Chelsea this year concede more chances than they did last year because people will start to clock on a bit to Tuchel. So it's about how he responds to that. But Mancini's had this team for a minute. People have known his tactics for a minute. And to be fair, the Spinazzola move has been recent, playing him as a like a winger basically, and then defending with a free. But we can't act as if we haven't seen that. I mean, Chelsea did it with Azpilicueta when he was a left back, played him as a left back, defended it with him as a free, and then you had Ivanovic bombing on the other side. I remember another team did it. It's just slipped my mind, but anyway. That's why I was even saying to my boys that I think that Man United should deploy a system where Luke Shaw becomes kind of like a high attacking winger. Wan-Bissaka doesn't need to be an attacking fullback. Let him do the defensive job. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's kind of what I'm sure Kojo would jump in there as well. Like that's kind of what Ollie's tried to do in his defense. Because we've not had a right winger, we can't do that. The balance isn't there because we've got if Wan-Bissaka doesn't go up, there's literally no attack. I know he doesn't offer that much going forward anyways, but there's no one there. Like you see with Kyle Walker, I think people haven't seen the average fan probably not noticed that Kyle Walker's playing way more reserved as the cover. Obviously, and Luke Shaw's basically getting the freedom of the whole pitch. That's why he's been the better fullback, and people don't realize that. But we can do it now because we've got Sancho, but it's what it is.
No, for sure, man. But I just really love Italy, and of course, I mean, I think the the fulcrum of that. Obviously, you love the defense. I know Koja and Cahill, they're always talking about that. They love them. They love the experienced defenders. But I think that the team works because of the midfielders, man. I think Jorginho has been. I think if Italy win the tournament, I think he's been the player of the tournament.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, man. I think he's been so good, man. And like the mad thing is, I've been telling people what Jorginho is on. He does have a bad game, but the problem is when you have a polarizing player, he can have 15 good games in a row. Then he has that one bad game, and he's like, "I told you so." Like, yeah, he's dead. Like this, and that, and that's why these players
Ballon d'Or worthy, maybe.
Look, I'm as a joke, fam. I push the agenda, man. Of course, he shouldn't be winning. He shouldn't be winning Ballon d'Or. But if he's in contention, like, of course, I'm gonna say I think he deserves it, and I'm gonna make the case for him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
gotta beat Messi.
I mean, bro, I said already. I said Kante didn't get the job done. There's another guy he's in contention. Bro, deep it now.
We've got our boys in it, Coach, in the England team.
The reason why the reason why it's different though, Usman, is because we're gonna have a Champions League winner and a Euros winner. Like, bro, I'm so shameless.
You're not back. You're not back.
Shameless. No. I'm so shameless. I even say Andreas Christensen. If you want to win the Euros, go and get this Ballon d'Or, man. Go get it.
I like that.
Imagine if Lewis. Oh my God, Lewis would never.
But sorry, last thing though, quickly, Spain. Pedri, man, that's my guy.
Yeah.
What a baller, man.
He is a top player. Just regarding some of the things you mentioned in terms regarding the managers first and foremost, man. Like, obviously, football's not about being personal, but there's a lot of stories. You know what? The thing I love about football is the stories. Like, Denmark have got the Eriksen thing. Obviously, Spain have got Luis Enrique on a personal level. He's had a very difficult time. As I already mentioned. I was desperate for him to be my United manager. I'm a huge fan of his. Always have been since Barcelona days. He was unreal there. And then obviously you got Mancini as well. Like you said, doesn't get the respect he deserves. The Italians as well, they're massively underrated going into the tournament. And of course, England haven't won it since the dawn of time. So there's a lot of stories. One team is going to make history for whatever reason, man. It should be really interesting. Just quickly, shout out, boys. 5 stream, thank you. Appreciate it, man, my guy. And also, I did not mean to put that. He's probably slagging off Dan James. Yes, he is. Right, anyways, we'll leave that up for another day. I'm not going to go into Man United because it will be all night. But listen, I just want to get a quick prediction from the boys regarding the scoreline. And then you can obviously give a quick description of how you think the game's going to pan out. Kale, we'll come to you first. What do you reckon? How do you think the game's going to play out, and what's your score prediction?
I think it's going to be a very open game, but I feel like the defense of Italy will manage to weather the Spanish storm. So I'm going to go 2-0 to Italy.
Interesting. Koji, what are you saying?
I'm with him, but I think Spain will concede. Spain will score, but I think Italy will still have that 2-goal difference. So I'm going 3-1 Italy.
Ooh, okay. Daniel, what do you reckon?
2-0 Italy, man.
All right, strange. That's right. Okay, so that means it is a clean sweep for Italy, and none of us are back in Spain whatsoever. So based on our prediction videos so far, that means Spain are through. Because we have every team we backed has lost practically. I mean, there hasn't been one that was backed and won.
Every team you lot are backed because I wasn't. I wish I was in the prediction video because I said Denmark would get to the semis. Like I literally said it, and I wish I was there. I said it.
Just a quick PS. Donnaruma's had a fantastic tournament as well.
I mean,
he's been amazing.
Who's been saying sell De Gea and buy Donnarumma and me? Man, when they tweeted it out. I got so much shit from my United fans.
Man. He's shown up.
No, I should tell you what. Just aside off topic, it pisses me off, right? When Premier League fans do not watch other leagues at all. Like they have no perception of other leagues. Like Barella's been doing it for AC Milan. Like he's been killing it. Like these fans have had good seasons for their teams as well, and people are just randomly surprised.
I swear Barella.
Inter, sorry, Inter. Yeah, Inter, not AC Milan. That's someone else. But flipping, he's been smashing it for Inter. They won the league. And these ones are all surprised that these Italians are doing well. Like they've come off a very good sort of season for the country, so to speak. But yeah, for me personally, Spain are just gonna bottle this, so it's gonna have to be Italy as well. I'm gonna say 2-1, just for the sake of it. Morata gets a goal, it is what it is. But anyways, let's move on to the game that most of us, I don't know if everyone's supporting. In fact, actually, I know a coach is not supporting. England v Denmark. You know, a lot of people are going to this game saying it's a foregone conclusion. You know what? Denmark are getting massively slept on. I must quickly just put that in there straight away because they have got some top players in the team. Dan, you know what? We'll come to you first, man. You know, what are your thoughts on Denmark, England, as always, whatever team you want to discuss first? Go for it.
Look, at the end of the day, we're all supporting England, I would hope.
Cole, do you support England now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no.
When it comes to World Cup,
no, hold on.
Wait to the final.
No, obviously, when it's the World Cup, yeah, fine.
From the beginning, I backed Italy, but England getting to the final, yeah, I'll back them for that, absolutely.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Oh, but you back Italy to win it, yeah?
I said Italy from the beginning.
He did say Italy from the start.
Oh, no. So did I. I mean, like, supporting, as in, like, your team.
Oh, in the final, if they met in the final.
Yeah.
No, as in
he's not spoiling. I know he's.
You're not supporting England.
Italia.
Oh my days! You're a fraud. You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
Big man, he's gonna be celebrating if England win it though. He's gonna be
exactly. I know you.
You told you I'm not shameless. Hey, Daniel, I'll give you a quick one. When you guys won the Champions League, I was in Fulham already. I was shouting with your fans. Everyone thought I was a blue.
Man just stood off that Didier Drogba shirt and that man was there. You know,
bro, you man don't know that. I hate other teams winning so much that if my team loses like a final or something, bro, the TV's off. Like, you think I watch? I don't even think anyone watched Man City. I've not seen the pictures of Man City lifting the Premier League. Nope. I literally haven't seen. I couldn't even tell you who lifted the trophy.
You know what's funny?
I don't know.
Liverpool still haven't lifted that trophy in front of their fans.
Wait, have they not?
No.
Yeah, they haven't.
I mean, that league don't count for me, President. Just you still haven't won it. 31 years ago.
No, but in all seriousness, though, England, man. I think, look, England. I'll say the same thing I said before the Ukraine game. England have to be winning this game, man. Like, I know Denmark are good, and obviously we will touch on Denmark. Probably Kay will touch on Denmark. Denmark are a very good team. I really like Marley, their wing back, and it shows you Atalanta produce quality wing backs. Spinazzola has the Atalanta link. Marley, Atalanta, Goossens from Germany, Atalanta as well. There's even another guy that you've even got Hatterbo, who wasn't even at the tournament, but he's a quality wing back as well. So, bro, they just produce wing backs. Marley's quality. Damsgaard, young talent. I really like him. Dolberg didn't have a great season for Nice, but he's been quality again.
He's been top draw, man.
Been top draw, man. Christensen, Simon Kjaer. They've even got Anderson,
Delaney,
who I really like.
Don't forget Delaney.
Of course, Delaney, man. Delaney and Højbjerg as well.
Yeah, that midfield,
brilliant, man.
Solid, man. That midfield is very
and they've all done this without Ericsson, man. Got to semis without Ericsson.
You know what I say, Braithwaite, no? No one's saying Braithwaite, no?
Nah, man. Braithwaite adds a dimension in terms of his pace, but he's not one of the. He's not one of the outstanding guys on that team, man. No way. But nah, man. Besides that, I just wanted to give them all the credit, give the starting lineup the credit, the manager credit as well. But England have to be winning this game. They're the better team. They play the better football, have the better players. You could argue you could say have the better manager. I've come round on Southgate. I've been really critical of him going into the tournament, but look, he shut me up. And when you get results, that's when you don't get any more criticism. And he deserves where he is right now, because despite all the criticism and whatnot, like, he's shined through. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I just think England have to go into this game where I don't even mind the lineup. I trust Southgate. He's got it perfectly right every single game. He's got the substitutions right, in my opinion. Look, I still think Grealish should start. I still think Grealish is possibly our best player. But at the end of the day, the way he's utilized Grealish, I can't complain, because he's gotten results. And that's what Southgate continues to do. Like, he's that guy. He's not your cup of tea, but he gets the results, man. And like, what can you do in that? Like, do you know what I mean? But then again, the difference is what we want with Southgate now is, like, in the World Cup, bring it home, of course. But in the World Cup, he got over the first hoodoo, which was penalties. This game now, he needs to get over that semi-final hoodoo. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people would say that, not that we expected, but people say we should have beaten Croatia. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know Croatia dominated the second half, but I think the game in the first half was there for us to win. Do you know what I'm saying? So now you got another semi-final opportunity. Get to the final. Even if you lose to Italy or Spain in the final, in my opinion, you might be disappointed, but that's a great achievement. Back-to-back semis, no goals conceded in this tournament yet. Like, England, after Italy, have been the best team at this tournament, and no one could argue that. Like, they have to get the job done.
100, man. I think with Southgate, like, first and foremost, he's had the Midas touch, hasn't he, really? Everything he's done has come off to absolute perfection. Like you said with Grealish there, like in terms of, I still think he should be starting, but the way Southgate has utilised the bench, the squad, everything's worked, and you can't fault him. And obviously, Big Ron said this as well. Southgate vindicated for picking Sterling. I think this has been the biggest call. Like well, there might be a couple of people out there, but a majority of people wanted Grealish to start over Sterling. I don't know, like, I might be stand corrected. I don't know if anyone else is the opposing view, but I definitely wanted Grealish to start over Sterling, and Sterling has quite easily been England's best player, although, if you look at the newspapers, it would be Harry Kane, apparently. So that's a completely different topic that we'll go into shortly. But yeah, so I think in terms of what Southgate's done, he's been absolutely fantastic. I think if he doesn't get to the final, though, however, I mean, although I'd give him his flowers to an extent, but I still would class that as a failure. For me personally, look, fair play to him. He's done everything right. However, I'm quite conscious of not getting carried away because he has had a fairly easy draw. Like, you have to only be, I've said this consistent, you can only beat what's in front of you, and you've got to give credit where it's due, because in the past, England have bottled it against these teams, so we can't put that against them. So, Iceland, most famous here of like even USA drawing to them. So you can't knock him for it, but I just want to hold judgment until I see what he can do if he gets to the final, what he can do against Italy. I mean, Germany was very impressive, I must say. Germany one, that's the one that I got to give him respect for, because that was a masterclass from him personally. But we'll have to wait and see on Southgate. He's still got 2 more games to really, stamp a claim. But Colin, coming to you, bro, what are your thoughts on either team going into this one?
Firstly, I think he's going to go back to the back three. I think he's going to go back to back three for Denmark.
Really against Denmark?
Well, because
I mean, I know
Denmark they're seen as the underdogs per se, but if you check the record in the last year in the Nations League, Denmark beat England. So it's not a walkover for them. Denmark have been proven to be a good side before this tournament, as we all know. But I think when they go into the games like this, obviously because of the name of England and what they've done, England is, I say what they've done, they won one World Cup. But
this comment, yes, Greco, allow it. Let's get carried on. I'm off to buy a race coat.
Because of what England have in regards to squad strength in relation to Denmark, obviously England seems to overwhelming favourites. But last year in the Nations League, England were beaten by Denmark, so it's not a walkover. But I think he will go back to a back three and then 2 wing backs for this one. Keep it cautious, keep it safe. Dolberg's proven as a threat. As Daniel said, the wing backs have been causing hell in this tournament for a lot of their opponents. So I think he's just going to try and play it safe. And when I say safe, a back three doesn't represent safe. You can still attack and do very well for back three. But I just feel like he's going to go back to that because he knows that is his sort of like formation to get the result. It's not about playing well. It's about getting the right result to make sure you can progress forward. But anyone that's sort of writing off Denmark already, they just need to be careful of that, because last year when they saw England versus Denmark, I'm sure they were like, yeah, England would deal with them, and England were dealt with. So it's a cautious one. Yeah,
well, I suppose Denmark, if you look at their team as well, I mean, a lot of people are just basing it off the title, as in their sort of, or it's Denmark, rather than actually looking at the players on show. They've got a lot of quality in that team, to be fair. Like, through the spine of the team as well. Like, even that, we didn't even mention Kasper Schmeichel in that as well. Like, very experienced, he knows the Premier League inside out. He'll know a lot of the players, but he'll know every single player that's playing. You got Christensen, Delaney, Højbjerg. Like, the spine is very strong for Denmark. So, I think it's important that we do pay somewhat respect. However, Coach, I must say I do disagree on the formation. The only reason being, he probably will do it because he did it against Germany and matched them. But the only reason being is because I think England just played better than 4-2-3-1. I think if we overly cautious, we might get done here.
But
Because I think
that's what I'm saying. Like we have seen them play better in the 4 because every time in the game previous against Ukraine, every time they went forward, they were going to score goals, and that's what we want. We want them to be a threat. But I feel like he's going to go back to that, and I don't think saying that will mean that there will be less of a threat per se, but it won't mean they're not threatening. It just means that with that back three, you have an extra protection. You have that sort of safety filter. That's where I'm coming from for it. If it was me, I'd sit to the back 4 because I hate back threes personally, but that's just me.
Fair enough. I'm sure Daniel probably doesn't agree with that, being a Chelsea fan. But Kale, them man's and back threes, I love it, man. Kale, what you saying, man? What are your thoughts in terms of what Southgate needs to do to go and make sure we win this game and get out of the line?
I think he has to go to the back 3. I disagree with that. We play better under when we play 4 at the back as opposed to 3. He done very well against Ukraine, but I think overall England played a much better game against Germany. In that first half, we got the goal very early on, but after that goal, it was very sharp. Ukraine were very much on the front foot. There were a whole bunch of mistakes from from Maguire, from Stones as well, and from Kyle Walker. I think Luke Shaw is probably the best defender on the pitch in that game. So I think in order
Shit.
So I think just for that extra protection, playing 5 at the back would be the smart option. I think in terms of matchups, in terms of head to head, I think England have the better play. Yes, Denmark are they have decent to / good players, but as a head to head, England far outweigh them. So England, I think, on paper, are definitely major favorites to win that game. But you never know. I feel like what Denmark have done has been nothing short of impressive or great, because we all know what happened to Christian Eriksen, and we never, and they lost that game as well, which I still haven't forgiven you away for what they forced them to do.
Absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? Really.
But to go on to get to the semi-final with a team. I mean, Denmark aren't they've won the Euros before, so they're no strangers to the title. But that team had some great players. I don't think this team, barring Eriksen, have great players. But you never know, man. You never know.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an air of unpredictability with Denmark, because from the games that I've watched, though, I watched quite a few of theirs because obviously the Eriksen thing, they kind of become a second team to an extent. But I think they've been very resolute as well defensively. I think that is something that England offensively haven't been spectacular, bar the Ukraine game, where they were devastating towards the latter stages of the game. Daniel, where do you sit in terms of how the game's going to pan out? Do you think England will have enough to break the deadlock? Your boy Christensen's been absolutely phenomenal. Shots for Ballon d'Or from City. Some say he's better than Maldini, but that's up for debate. And that. How do you think England are going to fare trying to break down this resilient Denmark team?
Yeah, fam, Maldini was the Italian Christensen anyway, so
you were just waiting for him to be bored, innit?
Yeah, literally, he was waiting, man. But nah, man. Look, I think England need to do what they did against Ukraine, get the early goal. Early goal settles nerves. You don't want to get to 75, 80 minutes and it's still 0-0 against a Denmark team who are really good. They will keep the ball better than Ukraine. They'll get numbers into the box better than Ukraine, and they have better players than Ukraine. England should still win, but they're a better team than Ukraine, for sure.
Yeah,
and we have to be careful about that. Just the fact that they have better quality. And there were moments in that Ukraine game.
Oh, bless you.
Bless you.
Excuse me. There were moments in that Ukraine game where you thought Ukraine were getting back into the game. That was almost towards the end of the first half. So, yeah, man, we just have to be careful. But I expect the boys to get the job done. I think he'll go. I don't think he'll go with a back 3. I know you might be tempted to match up with Denmark, but the reason why you match up with Germany is to show them respect, but still play your team. I think you're the better team against Denmark, so you play the formation that you ideally would want, and I think that is the 4-2-3-1. I do think if Saka's fit, he will bring Saka back into the team.
That was just about being my next question. in terms
Yeah.
of the lineup? Like, is there anything that you change? Obviously, you mentioned Saka now, so but
Me personally, I'd still play Sancho. I think Sancho provides a
Now that
different.
he's come to Manchester United, now he's in the Premier League. You want him to play?
No, it's not even that, bro. Remember, I'm not a United fan. Like, I couldn't give a toss. But
Talk about the English bias there, Dan.
yeah,
Just
no,
the English bias.
I think there's some truth in that. I ain't even gonna lie. The fact that he didn't play a single game.
Yeah, no, there is.
I don't think so, because if you cast your minds back to it now, Sancho hasn't been part of the qualifiers for one. And one thing you notice about Southgate's teams, this is how I see it anyway. Of course, like we will never really know the truth, but this is how I see it. Southgate selects teams or players who he has loyalty to, players who have shown up for him in the biggest moments. Sterling, he was never going to drop because Sterling has shown up for him time and time again in the past. Pickford, he was never going to drop because Pickford has shown up for him time and time again. And he rewards players who have played well under him. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think the Sancho thing is Sancho was injured for a large part of last season. One, Sancho, when he has played for England, has been poor.
Yeah,
like in a number of games.
Yeah,
so even though I think Sancho should start because I think Sancho is one of the most creative players in the world, Southgate clearly says, look, Sancho, you either fit in my... Like, he has a pecking order. And I think if Saka's fit, Saka's above Sancho in his pecking order. Doesn't mean Saka's better than Sancho. But in Southgate's eyes, Saka performs better for England than Sancho does. So I think I would tell Southgate, and I don't even need to tell him because I think he'll do it anyway. He already goes away from the status quo. If Saka's fit, he's gonna start Saka for sure, man. In my opinion, I think Sterling automatically.
He seems fit on that unicorn that he was jumping in the pool.
Yeah. No, you can't hate him, man.
No,
say that again.
I can't.
Yeah, Rashford shorts on as well. I don't know why he's got Rashford shorts.
I think, bro, and you just deep it like. This is what I actually wanted to point out to a lot of people. Let me do something for you lot quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the 2016 England Euro squad, yeah?
Okay.
Go on then.
Very quickly, I'm going to get that up. Cool. So, like, we had, in that squad, Fraser Forster, Joe Hart, Tom Heaton, Ryan Bertrand, Gary Cahill in the last year of his Chelsea contract, Nathaniel Klein, Danny Rose, Chris Smalling,
wow,
John Stones, Kyle Walker, Dele Alli, Ross Barkley, Eric Dyer, Henderson before he was the Henderson that Liverpool have now, Adam Lallana, James Milner, Jack Wilshere. Then we had up top, obviously, a young Marcus Rashford. That's 18-year-old Marcus Rashford. Yeah. Vardy, who I think England never really understood how to use anyway.
Yeah.
Sturridge, Sterling, Rooney. So my point is...
Was Kane not there?
No, Kane was... Did I not mention Kane? Kane
no,
as well. Kane was there. Yeah. 2016. So Kane was there. And yeah, Kane was there. So my point is now...
That is
very, very top-heavy, that team.
Bro, but this is my thing now. Even the golden generation was very, very top-heavy because after that greatness, bro, our sub-centre-backs were Jagielka and Matthew Upson. Like let's deep the drop in quality after the best.
Wait.
I mean, Mings and
2002 World Cup.
Say that again?
2002 World Cup.
2002 World Cup. I'll say golden generation was from like the year 2000 to like the year 2006.
Okay,
and all those squads, if you like, just go back after the stream. Just go back because I just gave you 2016. Go look at 2014 World Cup, bro. Danny Welbeck is like the main man in that team, and that tells you a lot. Do you know what I mean? Euro 2012, Danny Welbeck, Andy Carroll. These are the main men in our... Bro, don't you remember a time when we would die? Heskey was no longer relevant and we were dying for Heskey to come back and partner Rooney.
He said, don't you dare disrespect Heskey. Don't you dare.
No, Heskey was a baller in his prime, but we were calling Heskey back. We were calling for Heskey back when we were dying for this big strike. Peter Crouch is a great English... Like, let's be honest. Southgate has at his disposal one of the best squads we've ever had.
Absolutely.
Like one of the best squads we
look how didn't even play, bro, the other day.
Bro, Rashford hasn't even had minutes at this tournament. Ben Chilwell just won a Champions League and it doesn't start for this team. Like, this is what I'm saying. That's why I think that we got lost in the idea that we expected so much from the past teams, when really and truly our expectations should be with this team. Like this team, this crop of talent we've got now, boy, like we complain about the defenders that we have, but in my opinion, we don't have the Ferdinands and the Terrys of the world, but we've got that middle cat where everyone's kind of on the same level.
And the Campbells.
Stones, Maguire,
Campbell.
Campbell.
Yeah, big man.
Tyra Mings maybe just below, like Ben White just below, like the cat. Like it's not top heavy and it's not bottom heavy, if that makes sense. You just got a nice little breed.
Balanced.
So yeah, it's well balanced, man. I really think you guys should go back and look at the previous England squads because we used to scream about England this, England that. We were dead. We were dead. Like we were dead.
Darius Vassell, you know.
I think
Darius Vassell.
Darius Vassell. Yeah, man.
Man City legends. No, but it is a good point. I think obviously not to take away what Southgate has done, but the squad is outrageous. I was saying it the other day as well. The fact that Foden and Grealish are still on the bench after he's made that 5 subs, it just says that, bro, that is outrageous. Everyone's been talking about Foden's haircut and then, you know, how he's the next Gascoigne. Man's barely seen the pitch since the trim and that, but it is where it is. But yeah, no, look, fair play to Southgate. He has dealt with the sort of the squad in the right manner. Is there a case that either of them two start, Kale? Grealish or Foden, would you put any of them in, or do you think it's not a matter of don't change what's not broken sort of thing?
And yeah, the don't change what's broken. I would start. Personally, I would start Sancho, but I would see why Saka start because he has been in terms of like a ball carrier, especially from deep. He's been wonderful on the ball. You can hardly get the ball off him. So in terms of that, I think Sancho and Saka offer very similar styles of the game for outlets for Southgate. But what was the question?
I was saying that
Grealish or Foden.
Yeah, that's right. Grealish,
coming to the team here.
Foden definitely no. I think that you don't need to upset the balance. I mean, everybody was screaming for or screaming at Southgate for why is he playing 2 holding midfielders in Rice and
got a question here as well about Mount as well, if you want, just regarding Mount as well.
I'd go back to the 3, so I'd take Mount out of the team because I think Calvin Phillips against Germany had a fantastic game, and when Mount comes on the pitch, he limits Calvin Phillips because Calvin Phillips is then told to just sit back and let Mount do it.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Obviously, you disagree.
I said no, but to be fair though, I said Mount should be dropped for Grealish.
Yeah,
if I was making my ideal team, but then again, I understand why Mount. So, for example, remember the play in the Ukraine game?
I'm not saying that Mount's had a bad plays bad.
No. I know. You're just saying for the betterment of the team. No, I get it. I fully get it. But I'm just saying, like, I understand why Mount plays in this team. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Mount is someone. Mount someone Southgate struggles to drop. Mount might not. I don't agree with Mount being a 10. He's not a 10. Like, that's just not what he is. Being the sole creator of the team, the chief creator, but what he does provide, he provides a lot of defensive work. I remember they were about to score, and he made the tackle.
I was in the watch. I was like, "Right, what's Mount doing back here?"
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, man. But I think Calvin Phillips has had a good tournament. Declan Rice has had a good tournament. Like I keep saying, yeah. I mean, Dan ain't here. Declan Rice ain't worth 100 mil, though. Come on, lad. Let's
not even close. No.
The point that Dan always makes is that he's better than bloody Busquets, I think he said. So in his eyes, he's worth at least 120 mil.
Dan did not say that.
I mean, Dan, you have to come on to prove otherwise. But I'm going to pass it to you. You listen to what the guy said. It's quite evident that you're playing the 3 as well. The back of the spot, you were the one who suggested it. Any changes for you? Well, evidently there will be one at least because you've changed the formation. Who's your starting lineup? And then let's get everyone's score picture and let's wrap it. What are you saying, bro?
Pickford stays in goal, obviously. Stones, Maguire, and Kyle Walker as a back 3. Luke Shaw will definitely stay on the left. On the right, on the right, probably gonna be Reece James, which I'm not mad at all, to be fair.
Yeah.
Phillips and
so not Trippier then.
No, I think Trippier is fine being used as a secondary option. He supplies like another threat from set pieces, which is fine later on in the game. I think Reece James has a lot more speed in his game. Obviously, I think he's better defensively as well, even though Trippier has improved the way at Atletico. So, but I'll still stick with him anyway. And then you have obviously Rice and Phillips, who have now got a nice combination together. Can't take that off.
Agreed.
Raheem Sterling must keep his spot 100%. Harry Kane will definitely be in there. And the final spot, if Saka, it's between Saka and Sancho, really, to be honest. For the team that the team that Denmark are, I would go with Saka on this occasion.
No, fair enough. Right. I think with Sancho as well, I don't know about his defensive work. I must say that that's one thing that I've noticed quite a lot. Just the general play, he doesn't tend to track back as much. So that might be something.
That's why you have Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, right?
I mean, yeah, it's perfect. No, and Wan-Bissaka loves a 2v1 situation. But we haven't got comment here. Everyone's putting the lineup in. Henderson to start instead of Phillips. Yeah. I mean, that is just blasphemy. No. And Rashford and Sancho. I mean, Was, I know you're Man United.
Rashford,
outrageous. I don't know where man's dropped Phillips and Sterling.
Why are you bringing Rashford into Rashford don't need to start. Sorry, Rashford don't need to start.
That is United bias, I'm afraid.
Nah, I mean that there's bias and then there's that. Man put Rashford out. Yo, Rashford's like
you're not gonna bring Rashford into the semi-finals like randomly, like.
Bro, there's no way. Rashford, I'm happy he's not playing, man. He needs rest anyway, so I ain't complaining personally. But listen, you've heard what the guys have said regarding everyone. I'm a bit disappointed I've not spoken more about Shaw, so I'm just going to quickly mention it. That cross to Maguire was absolutely top.
It was.
The cross to Raheem Sterling as well, the game before. Mike Shaw has been arguably the best left back. Spinzall obviously would be in the conversation. I'm a massive fan of Zuba. I don't know who he plays for, right? But someone needs to sign that guy in the Premier League. He's a top player, but obviously man's out now, so it is what it is. But I think Shaw has been I think he's gonna be pivotal again because his ability to get forward. My only thing is, right, we need to get. I think it must be Daniel, isn't it? We need to get more people into the box. Because there's been a couple of occasions that he's pulled it back and no one's gotten the end of it, where you would kind of expect that Lampard or dare I say Cristiano Ronaldo to just be there to put it away, sort of thing. We're kind of missing that in Mount. Like, he hasn't got that sort of natural instinct to be in the right place to score, if that makes sense. Now, although he has got goals in him, but he seems to not find his way. But anyways, I'm waffling. I'm keeping the same lineup. I'm keeping Sancho, exactly the same team that just won. So let's get everyone's score predictions in. I think it's going to be a tie, but 2-1 win to England. Kojo, what do you reckon, bro?
I want to go 3-2 England.
Ooh, a lot of goals. Interesting. Kale, what are you saying?
3-1 England.
Okay. And last but not least, Daniel.
3-1 England. It's coming home.
He's coming home. I got it to Daniel. Well, obviously that would mean Italy v England in the final if our predictions were to come to fruition, which would be a fantastic final. And of course, we'll have a preview for that. No spoilers for this one. So just got quickly 2-0 England. Rashford needs to start. I mean, that is not the right opinion, but obviously it's entitled to your own. Confidence is a strength thing. Kane looks a different player. I mean, Kane was always top quality. I'm just going to throw this out here right now, and I know Kojo said the same thing. We very consistently said, you can't blame Kane, man. He's had one chance. Like in the group stage, he had one chance, which he should have scored. Apart from that, he had absolutely no service. And he's had service now. Well, not to the quality that
I think it's a blend, though.
I mean,
I do think it's a blend.
There were a few aspects.
He was very deep.
He was looking slow as well. Like the fan, there were parachutes holding this guy back. Like he was looking slow. Like he was looking unfit, man. We can't. Like I know he wasn't getting service, but we can't. It's not like 60-40. I think it's 50-50 at best.
The last game in the group, was it Czech Republic that we played?
Yeah.
That game came with shocking, that game, straight up. I thought, what is he doing with this movement? The guy looks like he's disinterested. And I agree with what you're saying, Dan. I think that last game in particular, I don't know what was wrong with him. But since then, obviously, he started to get a couple of chances and he does what he does best. Takes his chances. He might even get a golden boot now, which would be outrageous given.
That Sterling pass, by the way, was...
Yeah, top draw, man.
Ridiculous, man.
Absolutely, man. But obviously, you know,
If Pep don't want him, he can come to Arsenal, man.
Yeah. Obviously, it is what it is.
World
I
Cup
don't know why he would downgrade
player of the
that
tournament
much,
if England win.
100%.
Bro, imagine Sterling to Arsenal, bro. That is the biggest downgrade of anyone's career that you could ever see. Like, man's gone from Champions League final to not even Conference League. Like, that is outrageously downgraded. But, you know, it is what it is. We'll have to come back and discuss the Premier League stuff.
I mean, they're rebuilding. They're rebuilding us, man.
Sorry. It's just the process. Anyway, we'll be back next Monday for probably the reaction to the final, most likely. And of course, we'll start to look ahead to the Premier League. Stay tuned for more content. Of course, we've got the 2 watch-alongs tomorrow and Wednesday. And then Thursday, again, we'll probably react to the 2 results and, of course, potentially preview the final. But apart from that, it's been your boy, Usman. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the show. As always, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Before we go, I already shouted them out anyways, but Colin, let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Free Midfield, Twitter, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Free in Midfield podcast on YouTube. Tomorrow, Italy and a span comes through. I'm looking for. I don't know if we can do that, by the way. But anyways, over to Daniel. Apart from Copper now, what else can the people find you, Daniel? Let the people know.
Nah, not even, man, fam. My as seen on screen. If you're a regular to this channel, you know where to find me already.
Yes.
Humble guy.
If there is someone blind but they're listening, what is their app, bro?
Yeah, that's a good point. Got you there, to be fair. We don't discriminate.
At Daniel Bamiji, Daniel Bamiji, or Eyes on the Ball TV, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, man.
You love to see it. Make sure you show love to the boys as always for coming through. Like I said already, drop a like, subscribe. Follow me on Usman Talk Tonight on Twitter if you want my best Michael McIntyre impression. Apart from that, peace.